so 30 seconds. So
Yo! What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper bringing y'all niggas another live stream out here popping in with the Boar's hat. So unfortunately, Arthur's coming back, bro. This pussy ass, dirty. Alright, look. Last time, this nigga Naya took like forever to get to the stream, so he didn't get his chance. But we gotta give Zarzo his chance. So you got 2 minutes. Say whatever you want, bro. Ain't nobody gonna say shit. Go ahead, dog.
Bro, listen, I've been waiting for ages. All right, I've been waiting for ages for this man to come back, and it's pretty bland. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like, it's cool. It's cool. It's very cool. Like, I'm super happy to actually get him like kind of relevant again. I didn't think he was actually gonna come back, but I'm actually pretty curious to see how they actually pulled this off. I mean, you know, you don't just bring a kid back to life after he's been like, you know, rammed through his own sword. So I'm pretty hyped overall. Fuck all his Elders fans. Y'all can eat a dick.
Nani?
Other than that, I mean, like, it's cool. It's cool. It's very... Yeah, you know, it's the year of Arthur. It's, you know, it's our time to shine. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
That's it, bro.
That's it. That's it.
Nigga, it's been like 24 chapters, and that's all you gotta say. More than that, it's been like 35 chapters. That's all you gotta say, bro.
Dude, I got more to say about Arthur.
God damn, bro.
Amen.
Maybe you should have got some free time, bro.
I want to get crazy, bro. All right?
Anyways,
all right,
it's my turn.
You never know what. You never know what.
It's my turn.
Let's go ahead.
Fuck Arthur, first of all. Second of all,
Good joke.
go to win Raptors. We up 2-1. You know what I'm saying? Third of all, I gotta say this. You know, first time I seen Zeldris, I'm like, he's Meliodas, but he's not the same. Like, he looks like him. Like, I know he has to be raw. Like, this is no way. I know Esterosa is looking cool. I'm like, nah, this guy looks like him. I feel it. And like, he like didn't do much for a while. He kind of got burned up with Esterosa. He kind of got sunned when Meliodas was just like, no, I'm DB King now. I was like, fuck, like, am I not gonna get the shine? Like, I even wavered a little bit. I'm like, man, I need that long-term payoff. Like, am I gonna get it? Got to see him combat a little bit with the Omnis Nebula and stuff. That was great. But like, I gotta just say, to be getting all this Zeldris stuff, endgame, seeing him talk to his brother, but like, yo, bring Gelda with you, seeing some of his own internal struggles and whatnot. It's like, the long-term payoff for me is real. Like, in this ending, I'm getting everything I need with Zeldris. Development, characterization, combat feats, everything. Like,
them titties.
Yeah, you know, I'm here for this. I'm here for this. Get that bitch ass out his body. If you guys don't save him, I'm pulling up to Nambaka's headquarters. We gonna have a problem. You better live.
Boar's hat coming with baseball bats and chains.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Come to my TED Talk.
Bro, like, I'm like low key at first, bro. When I was reading that bitch, I was like, I'm confused. Like, is she really here? Like, this doesn't seem like it'll make sense, but like, I guess it's confirmed that she's not there. But I guess we'll get into that later. But like,
I don't think it was confirmed, Grim. I think it's just everyone realizes that it's total horse shit after reading it. There's
that smile, bro.
That's the real Gelda.
I didn't even see that smile at the end from the DK, bro. He was like, yeah, that's Gelda, right?
Yeah. Oh, I let them be together. Yeah, because I've been shown to be a compassionate person.
Like, bro, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. The minute she's like, oh yeah, you know, your dad's all cool with it. I was like, oh man, if you don't stop.
No, the moment she showed up, I went, there's no fucking way that's her. There's no way.
I mean, I believed it because, like, he already has what he wants, technically. Like, there's no reason to, like, bullshit or say anything else. Like, and this is some spirit shit, right? You know, there's no real reason to trip. We don't have information to tell us that, like, having 2 or 3 souls inside your body is going to affect you negatively. The only thing that happened last time was Meliodas was tripping about it, so he kicked him out. But besides that, why not have 3 or 4 souls inside of you? You know, and if they fucking, they fucking. But that smile at the end is really what got me.
But your dad's watching you, man. I mean, you know, I love my dad, but I don't want him seeing me fucking bending over my wife, fucking going 9 ways from Sunday on her.
First off,
having deep-rooted memories.
First off, let's be honest now, right? No one wants to give up their body to their dying father so he can live like the rest of your life. That's one.
Fuck that.
Right? So let's be honest now. If you're not cool with that, let's be honest. There's no way. To me, at least, that whole, oh yeah, your dad's cool. They're like, come on now. This man's like what, 10 chapters of straight like just straight Chad, like I'm gonna destroy everything. It's all mine. Like, oh yeah, but now I'm nice. Come on now.
You know what I got from it, because I heard a lot of people, like, because originally if you remember, Zeldris was looking at it, and he was like, "Who the hell are you? Like, I know you ain't Gelda, right?" And then later on, we see him like weeping into her titties and shit like that, and I'm like, "Okay. Here's what basically it is. Does nobody remember Gother with the Naja thing? It wasn't really her. It was just a projection. But he had one moment. He basically he let himself down just for 1 minute to basically like, I know it's fake, but I just really need this hug right now. That's basically what I'm thinking of Zeldris. Next chapter.
Time out. Stop right there. This is a huge ass pop away. All right. We were talking hella shit about Mael, that he isn't able to manifest all the commandments at the same time or some shit like that. Or he's able to manifest the commandments separately, while Meliodas was not able to do that. He was on just some other power shit when the DK was in him. Are we saying that this is an example of the DK manifesting the commandments' power separately?
No.
It's like, no.
You don't get what I'm saying?
No.
What commandment would he be using?
What commandment is he using?
The incense.
He's using the incense of purity that Darieri had purity.
Hold on. Let me break it down a little bit further. All right. So like, from what I understand from the DK, he gave Merlin knowledge of all spells and arts and secrets in the demon realm. In order to give something, you have to have something. So that means that he had it. Whether he mastered them, whether he uses them, it doesn't matter. We just know that he had a dictionary, all that shit, right? He gave it to her. So then we see that the commandments have the ability to manifest certain things. In Mael in particular, he manifested different objects and different attacks because of the commandments in particular. So when I was thinking that when you get 10 commandments, it's going to be some shit where like you can pop out different items, different spells pertaining to the commandments. And the way that you just put it and related it to Naja, that's a direct correlation to what the commandments of the essence, the thing that put Gother to sleep and threw him down, that's exactly what that did. So is this the first instance of that?
As it might be a retroactive a version of it. Might be like the Demon King, using it to his advantage. It could be, sure, but I mean, until it's once again, see that's the thing with ambiguity. Like, how is she there? Is he able to like when we saw the mental battle with Meliodas and fucking like it's the same plane of existence. I think we can all agree on that. This is basically the same spot that Demon King was fighting Meliodas, Trillion Dark, all that shit, right? So, could the Demon King, with full power, can he change the mind's perception? Like, could he have appeared as his outward self to Meliodas? He just chose to look like his purgatory self? Like, that's the problem with this plane. We don't know the rules. We don't know enough about what you can control and what you can't. So, it could have something to do,
I mean, let's be honest now. What are the rules in taizai? Because like rules kind of come up left and right, and like, but I mean, I'm not.
The rules see your mama's pussy, nigga.
Get out of here. I'm not gonna knock the idea that it's possible that he might be able to, use like several different versions of the commandments in order to, like get certain effects. But at the same time, I think if anything, this is just a way to excuse what happened last time with purity. Like the idea is purity. Oh yeah, use the instance of purity. Oh, you can see someone inside your past and everything, and now you're all messed up in the head. This is just like an easier way for him to basically be like, hey, I'm gonna basically mess up his head. That way, I have more control over his body.
But my nigga,
I agree with Grim, but Grim's not wrong that it's very possible, because I made the connection and I said it in my review and stuff. I made it right away. I was like, this is Zeldris, because a lot of people seem to be hating for some reason on him when I checked some Reddit forums, that he was like, how is he falling for this right away? I'm like, guys, it's just like Gother. If you remember the chapter with Gother and Naja, Gother just had his moment. He goes, it was just nice to be in the arms of the one he loved, even if it's a lie, just for a minute.
Bro, but even he had to reassure himself that it wasn't her. He verbally, Gother had to reassure himself here. And then if you remember the dialogue that Nazi was saying, she was like, you're gonna pay for everything that you've done or whatever, while she was talking sweet at first, and it turned into that. And that's exactly what happened here. Like, Gelda sitting there sweet talking him like, I want to suck your dick later on, some shit like that. And then she was like, and then we can be together. And then in all black it said, for all eternity. Like, that was like the creepiest, like, Scariest shit ever, bro. Like, take that into deep perspective. You know how I'm always telling y'all niggas and the viewers that read taizai in an emotional sense. Don't be a fucking meathead like Naya says. This is an emotional relationship type story with love and shit. Look at it as tragic as you can. That's one of the most tragic things possible. You're trapped inside your own body for eternity. Like,
with your dad.
with-
He looks like
With your dad watching.
yeah, like
Or
that's
with your
fucked
dad
up.
swinging-
into the boobs.
I hate to say it, but who brought it up that that's actually his dad in disguise pretending to be Gelda?
Me.
Because then that's just fucking. That's just. Ooh.
That's not really.
He put the titties on it too.
He's shoving that. Imagine your dad growing a pair of tits and shoving them in your face, like
And a nice
no.
rack, too.
Hey, Zelda's gay confirmed, Naya?
I wasn't even listening to. I tuned out for a second, but listen to my boy. Listen, Zelda's is the GOAT. Zelda out. Everybody has their moments of weakness. He's like, you know what? I haven't seen her in so long. I'm sorry. Like they said. He's like, okay, just for this 1 second, let me just submit, just for a little put my hand on the titty, and that's all Demon King needed. He's like, oh, I got it. My body. All he needed.
As I said, I don't believe. Next time we see him, I'm calling it now. It's just my opinion, but Zeldris is gonna wake up. He's gonna be like, yeah, just like with Gother. I just needed that moment to like. She looks like her. She smells like her. Her titties are like her. I just want to fucking have this moment just for a second. Just let me have this one moment of peace before I have to be like, no, I can't live this lie. Fuck you. I know you're not Gelda. This ain't real. And then he does his shit. Because Zeldris is too cool to let that affect.
I can't fuck with that either, bro. When I saw that like this is gonna be the same exact spiel to a certain extent as last time, I was trying my fucking hardest to hope that this nigga would play some emotional relationship type shit in between the DK and Zelda. It's like, oh, it's his dad, so he'll probably be more lenient than Meliodas was with his body or whatever. And then he started yelling, "Father, you can't leave me here alone. Give me my body back." And shit. So I was like, fuck. And he woke up right on time too. So I'm like, you have to deal with this. Somehow deal with this. And he did. So to me, as long as Zeldris doesn't like interfere in this battle, at least to like let's say the last second, right? He comes in, does some shit, fine. I don't give a fuck. But like, I need a fight where the DK isn't fucking having to withhold half his power. I just want to see him fight. Stop holding him back. Let that nigga fight, bro. Fuck.
Bro, hold on. Let's be honest now. We can't have Demon King fighting at full power because that's already broken. All right, think about it, right? Demon
What are
King
you
Purgatory.
talking? No. They keep saying that fucking Meliodas is on par with the Demon King right now. So why the fuck can you not have him fight at full power?
Because he's not. I mean, all right. Technically, we can't add our own references into the situation. We can't say that it's only half the DK. It's only 10 commandments. They said that he's on par with the DK that's there right now. So as far as we know, the nigga that we're facing, whether he's the full DK or not, the nigga that we're facing, Meliodas is on par with him. So any other speculation, stipulation that we want to add, it's not gonna interfere until they say it is. We got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, but that still means we'll get a balls out fight if they're allowed to have it.
We will, but remember, like the ambiguity in taizai for the magic system is kind of the reason why you're able to be like,
bro, the ambiguity of your mom's pussy is that way.
Bro, really? Oh, I didn't have time last time to fully get accumulated with my power, but this time I will. Oh wait, I actually need to go to the certain spot in order to, get full control of results.
That's exactly what the commandments did when they came through. That's literally exactly what they did.
Again, the ambiguity of it all kind of lets.
How is that ambiguous? That's literally they went around sucking up niggas' souls and shit.
Don't ever do this to me. Stop, enough.
Bro, all 10 of them niggas went up sucking up souls and shit. Like, why can't the DK do that too, bro?
To all our watchers, welcome to the late night version of the Boar Cat, where it's not anything about taizai no more.
Nope. Just sucking up souls. Apparently, I know this was the thing.
Think of Yakko Warner from Animaniacs saying, "Good night, everybody." Everything risque.
All right, but that's enough general discussion. Let's pop into the chapter. Let's go down in order. Escanor and Hawk. Is Escanor trash now, or is he trash now?
He's trash now.
Okay. All right. You get. All right. So
man, I was waiting for that.
Zarsil had his Arthur moment. He gave Nana the Zelda moment. Let me talk about my boy just for a minute. I'll keep it brief. But everyone telling me that no, he's got to give up Sunshine. No, Mal's stronger with it and shit. And I'm sitting there like, I don't give a flying fuck. Escanor's cooler than that guy with wings. Just saying. So, point of the matter is that Escanor didn't run away. He's still trying to help. He basically, you can take this line two ways on page 4, saying, if my voice can somehow reach you, then please lend me once more your strength before it's too late. He's holding his own blood. So it seems to not matter that he got rid of Sunshine or not. Escanor's still detriment. He's still dying. What that means is, could it be a Deadpool, Eddie Brock with the Venom symbiote thing? He's got cancer. It's killing him, but it's also the thing keeping him alive, and he actually needs Sunshine to stay alive now. Could be something like that. It could be surface level that just it did detrimental effects to him over the last couple decades, and now that body's dying no matter what. Is he asking for Mail to bring him Sunshine back and give it to him, or is he asking for Mail to come and just help them?
Yes.
You know, which way you can interpret it. Either way, you can interpret it either way, because remember, Escanor's no liar, and he's told him, I'll lend it to you. There's no way Escanor, who is literally the epitome of a chivalrous knight from old lore, would lie just to get what they want. He would not have lied to Mal and say, I'll lend you my power, and then go, nah, buddy, you can keep it. I was just lying to make you help us.
He's a bitch!
No way
That
does not. No, he's not.
Crazy.
He's not. Escanor is not a liar. That's one of the things. He might be a coward. He might run away. He might do stuff. He ain't a liar. He's never said a wrong, like, that's just not.
It's not lying. Imayo's gone. He went to heaven, bro. Ain't no getting it back.
He's asking. So basically, what he's saying is he asked for it back. And also, as I said, we have not gotten the information. I'm going to make a theory video about this later, but we have zero information about how his body was able to sustain this many years with Sunshine in the first place. I still think that's relevant, and this whole thing with is just Nakaba's way for me. I think he showed this clearly, and he shows later on. I'll let Darcy talk about it with Arthur. But he's basically saying, look, guys, this is a hype chapter. This isn't supposed to be the best chapter. This is supposed to be a chapter where we go, look, we haven't forgotten about Escanor and his whole, like, coughed up blood. Look, we haven't forgotten about Mama Hawk. Look, we haven't forgotten about Arthur. This is Nakaba's way of saying, hey, you guys thought I forgot about these plot threads. They're still active. They're still here. And I'm going to bring them back up. So all this did for me was build me up hype, and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen.
Right, now, let's open up that Escanor slander pack, as Naya says. This nigga's fucking trash, man. I'm tired of this bullshit, bro. Every 2 weeks, man, for months, niggas be like, oh, Escanor finna fight? Oh, you not finna fight? I ain't reading it then. Put that shit down. I ain't hopping on that shit. Fuck that nigga, bro. He hasn't done shit ever, dog. I don't fuck with that nigga. Since he lost his power, he's been a nuisance to us, bro. I don't want to see or hear anything from that nigga. He a messenger boy like he should be, dog. Get this nigga out of the picture. I don't want to hear nothing else about this nigga, bro. Fuck that shit, dog. If he's calling for Mael, fine. I'm cool with Mael coming down from heaven and do that thing to niggas. I'm cool with that. But don't bring me up Escanor anymore, bro. I don't like this shit about changing powers, getting your power back. I don't want to hear it. Like, no. Fuck that.
Well, that was a slander pack. I can't deny that.
That was a slander pack.
That's how you treat a fictional person. I wonder what you treat real people like.
Yeah, and just to correct you, he hasn't done shit really. What?
Since 300, since he lost his power, his relevance, and even before that, like we said before, bro, his development out of all the sins, bro, is like, it's not a doo-doo pack, bro. It's like,
saving the best for last.
Saving the best for last. Yeah,
saving the best for last.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean,
Hey, if Nakaba never fully explains the questions,
cut out, baby. Did I cut out? No, that nigga cut out. I can't hear y'all niggas, bro. Nani? Is that me? No, that's y'all niggas, bro. Hold on, let me adjust this server setting and shit. Let's go to the south. There we go.
All right.
You gotta go to the south, nigga.
Everybody good?
We good?
Yeah. Go ahead now.
Good? Fuck, now I forget what I was saying.
Who's on it? Naya? Me? Who?
Yeah,
What
you
happened?
were slandering Escanor.
Oh, I said I don't want to see him. If he's gonna be the skinny little dinky, like get the fuck out of here. Okay, get your grace back, throw hands, or get out the panel.
Hey,
no one's trying to see it.
Are you okay? Are you okay with him getting his grace back?
I need it. What are you talking about? I don't want to see
Hey,
it.
there. See? So Grim, shut the fuck up. We need him. Fuck Mel. Fuck the Angels. They were useless this whole time. The only thing they ever fucking did.
Ain't nothing
fuck
about
off.
Skinny and Scanner that interests me except that he can write poems well. I'm not here for this. Okay?
Nigga, there's nothing about Buff and Scanner that interests me, bro. Nothing. I'm not interested in nigga, bro.
But you said, what has he done since chapter 300? Oh, I don't know. Gave up his power to Male so that the sinner could be defeated.
Trash.
What else did you want him? What else did you want him to do? What else did you want him to
Sacrifice
do?
for the greater good.
Yeah.
Sacrifice his life. I wanted him to die trying to get that done. Not fucking, oh, you're stronger than me. Here, take your power back. You do it. No, bitch, die doing it, nigga. You're a prideful. Nigga, you get. Hold up, bro. You are the epitome of pride, bro. You finna give your sword away, bro? Just because another nigga. You trash for that, dog. My nigga.
No.
Hold up, bro. I'm gonna tell you shit like this. There's been 3 to 4 times where Escanor was interesting. Up against Estarossa. Up against Galen. Up against Meliodas. And that's about it. That's about it, bro. Because up against Zeldris, that shit was stupid doo-doo. Super duper stupid doo-doo, bro. That shit was dumb.
Look, like Naya said about Zeldris and playing the long game, this series is continuing far beyond what we thought initially because Nakaba trolled us. And I'm going to sit here and I'm not going to doubt. I'm going to have faith that we're playing the long game. He's saving the best backstory for last, and you're going to eat those words, Grim. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man, is that this guy is going to get depth. And you want to talk about one moment? I'll talk about a moment that wasn't a fight. I'll talk about a good moment with Pride Escanor, where he wanted to knock on the door for Merlin, telling her after Arthur got stabbed, telling her everything was going to be okay, I'm here and stuff. And he kept coming up with these manly monologues, of pride-fulfilled monologues, of ways to try to reassure her, and he realized she doesn't need him right now. And this was Pride Escanor, not Skinny Escanor. This was confident as fuck Escanor, and he just didn't knock on the door and walked away. That was a good moment. Don't tell me it wasn't. That was character building.
Was that better than Naja? Was that better than Bond trying to get the Fountain of Youth so he could live some more? Was that better than Diane fucking sitting there crying after King was gone?
Don't talk to me about Diane.
My nigga, I don't want to hear a word about Escanor, bro. Like, all right, what you said earlier makes sense, right? Later, we have a lot more time in the story now to develop the character. That's fine. But don't tell me that this character has value outside of him being a hype piece. That's all he's been. And, like, I'm not one of those... Nobody here is one of those fucking meatheads that just reads taizai just for that. We're all here for the story, man. Naya, a nigga who fucking about fights, too, even though he's not a meathead and shit, is fucking in love with the backstory of Bond. One of the best backstories in the series, period. One of the best developments in the story, arguably the best development in the story, bro. That character's great because of that. Not because he can fight, not because he's fast, not because he's strong. Bond is great because of his backstory and his story, his development. That's why he's good. That's why he's one of the best characters, man. Escanor doesn't have that shit. He shows up 2-3 times a fight, and then he fucking gets this? We took away the only thing that he has good. He doesn't have any other thing to support him in the series. He's less than Guild Thunder. I value Guild Thunder more than I value Escanor. And it's not only because he lost his power. I'm saying that is the development. That's the main reason. But now that he's lost his power, fuck that nigga, man.
I'll take Skinny Escanor over Deanne, small or big, any day.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and
I'll give you that.
I'm gonna go ahead and open up the Bond Slender pack. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Everything
Nani?
was true, right? I think it was true. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this, right? How is it that you show up at the Holy War with all this power, right? Everyone's all fucked up, but the main thing you're focusing on is that bitch. I understand it. You know, you came back for her specifically. But it's like, yo, like everybody else around you is like bleeding, coughing up blood, screaming and shit, right? Like bones mangled up and everything. But the only thing you can focus on is, oh man, I gotta bring her back, bro. You have literally eternal life. You like, bro, you can come out here just like any of the goddesses, healing everybody. But the only thing you're focused on is just this one chick, bro. Really.
Look, bro, this ain't about Bond. This is the last thing I'll say, and then we can move on because we don't want to stay on Center Pack the whole time, bro. an angel came in and had a better backstory and has times 3 more development than Escanor. A mainstay in the series. Mael!
No, we didn't! Get out of here! Get out!
Mael doesn't have more development than Escanor?
What?
Put money on it. Put money on it. Put money on it. Put money on it. Nigga, on the Supreme Deity, Mael got more development than Escanor, nigga. On the DK, Mael got more development than Escanor,
You
nigga.
gonna tell me?
On Elizabeth herself, matter of fact, I'll put it on Barchai himself, my
You can tell me
nigga.
that hodgepodge. You can tell me that hodgepodge, that mishmash of a head trip of a backstory was good development. Listen,
I'm gonna put it to you like this. This is why it's better development. Why? Hold on. What was that? Hold on. Let me give you the quote, bro. Let me give you the quote, bro.
Every single week, you're gonna let me hold on. I was here every single week. All right, I was here every single week. 4 male. When he was Estarossa, when he was male. Let me tell you right now. Development, sure, he got some. I'm not gonna go ahead and trip and say he didn't. I'm not gonna say that.
Some, all of it. He got all of it. Don't say some.
You're gonna tell me that was better than the simplicity of Escanor's character. Sure, he has potential to grow as a character. But at the end of the day, think about it, right? He's probably one of the oldest characters in terms of like the humans, but youngest compared to all the like all the freaky immortals. But remember, simplicity is always best from time to time. He like again, we don't need to have like this over the top, this, that, the third. 20 years ago this happened, 10 years ago that happened. It's like he's a pretty simple guy.
Listen, bro.
You don't need to go crazy.
Bro, listen, bro. This is my only response to what you just said, bro. This is my only response to what you just said. Quote or open quote. Why does it always have to be me? End quote. That's it. That's all that you need. That sentence right there is more development than all of Escanor. Just one sentence, my nigga. I'm done. Let's keep pushing, bro. I don't want to hear shit, bro. Mael is 15 times better than Escanor, and I would much rather have him in the story than Escanor. 100%.
Okay, so here's my 2 cents on all this.
Okay, here we go.
Right?
The
I'm not gonna go that far. I would say that as a completed character, going from everything we know about Estarossa, he's got a lot more depth to him. That doesn't inherently make him a more interesting character than Scanner, in my opinion, because I don't think he's that interesting. Even though I would say he's pretty complex, or he just didn't resonate with me that much.
That's what it is.
The role has been pretty simple. I beat niggas up. And it's been really good. It's really high. That's why I'm not interested in seeing the skinny version do anything. Just get your powers back and do what you do, because that's what I expect from you. We can get some interesting characterization for him if we get to his backstory that could add some layers to his character, which is what I'm hoping for. I'm here for that. But until then, Skinny Scanner, get the fuck out my panel until you fighting somebody, and I hope I never see my again.
Hold on, hold on, I can't. No, hold on, Zarso, hold up, bro. I can't let Naya slide with that because Naya is the one who brought it. What I'm about to say right now, Naya said it. This is what Naya said, and I hold it to this day because it makes all the sense in the world. There are some characters who are made not to develop, who the world around them develops because of them. A character like Luffy, who doesn't change, who has the same mentality and perspective for a reason, to change the world around him. No character in Taizai is like that. Taizai is about growing and changing, and how the world and your individuals and your relationships affect you and how you grow as an individual, your powers, your mindset, everything because of what happens to you. Meliodas is a prime example of this. Don't tell me that Escanor is that type of character. He's not. He's not, and he's never been set up for that. That's what I'm saying.
You have to understand that people are always super excited anytime he's about to fight somebody, right? Like,
yes.
I kind of feel
moments.
I feel what you're saying. I do. I feel what you're saying. But at the end of the day, he's getting people, the readers and watchers, super invested by virtue of him just being a combat junkie. That's it. That's it.
That's all he needs to be.
And with that, if you ask the majority of huge Taizai fans, they're gonna say Escanor is way more interesting to me than Mael. I think you'd get that. I'm not even saying you're wrong in that. I'm just saying, like,
you're gonna get that.
I'm saying ultimately, Mael being more quote unquote complex does not inherently equal interesting.
True. I would actually go, and I would actually agree with Grim and Naya's assessment here that says, and Escanor, remember, my favorite boy, but that he is not, because we haven't gotten that depth from him yet, if we ever do, but since we haven't gotten it yet, as of this chapter, no, he's probably got the least amount of development of one-dimensional character, combat junkie, I think Naya said, and of course, because Mael's backstory his whole life has been fleshed out. Similar to, I thought Gother was a horrible fucking character, hated him until we got that 45-page spread explaining. Until that point, Gother was trash. Now he's awesome and interesting, but until then he was trash, and now he's cool. So when we get that 45 spread page for Escanor, then we'll get the development. But right now, no, I wouldn't say he's more complex or he's got more depth or anything like that than any other character, because everybody other character outside of Merlin, I guess. I mean, you can make an argument for the two bottom of the sins, but they're not fleshed out very well at all.
All right.
So,
well, I mean, let's leave it at that. Let's put the Slender pack away so we can open up this Resurrection pack. So before we speculate more on it,
the clean segue.
yeah, like,
that was fucking clean.
The quote says, "The balance has been utterly destroyed. Soon the king will be born." What's up?
Return of the king, baby.
What do you expect, bro? Like, the greatness is coming back. Like, listen. I was heartbroken when, like, he just went off. It's like, how can you do that to your own mans like that? How do you just kill off a kid with huge build-up? Like, yo, like, he, like, comes in and goes in, like, 2 chapters, like, each. And it's like, bro, now's time that you want to just, like, go ahead and bring him back. I mean, like, it's, I'm fine, but it's like, yo, like, you kind of pissed me off, like, mad chapters.
I thought I cut out. Okay, never mind.
I just want.
That was it.
Okay.
It was a cool double entendre because it's supposed to be like the Demon King, but the silhouette, like in terms of imagery, is showing you Arthur with the sword on his chest. So it's supposed to be like, oh, are they alluding to the Demon King or are they alluding to Arthur, the King of Camelot, the one not coming back? So that was a cool little trick there. I like that. I didn't actually notice it the first time I read it. I didn't realize that was Arthur in the little silhouette there. So that's all that.
I gotta say that right here we had Hawk. Hawk is misinterpreting, as far as I'm aware, as the Demon King. Like, that's who he thinks his mom's talking about, but clearly, it's about Arthur. One thing I don't want, this is probably going to happen, and I don't want it to happen, is the fact that she says the balance has been utterly destroyed. Soon the king will be born. Is this going to be because Mama Hawk is like the epitome of like the mother of chaos / apparently balance or something like that? And she's going to bring Arthur back to life with a Zenkai boost or something because that's like her role in all this. If she does that, see, the issue with that for me is if anybody here has played Darksiders, it's the 7 seals are broken sort of idea, that whole shtick. And here it's not led up well because throughout that entire story and that entire game, it was said the 7 seals are broken, the 4 horsemen ride. That's a law of nature. That hasn't been set up. The balance has been destroyed. The king will be born. That line hasn't been set up since chapter 1, chapter 100, or chapter 200. It has not been set up well. So if this comes out that she just, boom, bring you back to life because it's a prophecy thing that she was supposed to do, because it wasn't set up and brought up for a lengthy amount of time, I'm gonna call it bullshit, and I'm not gonna be happy with it. If they bring him back in a good way, I'll be fine with it if it's explained well. But I don't want it tacked on like that because you can't just break the 7 seals and bring back the 4 horsemen or bring back Arthur in this case, and not build up what the fuck the 7 seals were in the first place.
I'm gonna agree with
like
that.
Nah,
just real quick, I'm gonna agree with that only because he's such to me he's my favorite character. So it's like if you bring him back in such a crappy way, I'm gonna feel like the one just weirdo that just kind of watch oh yeah, coolest character, but the ass pull. It's like if you like Madara, right? But it's like the ass pull got pulled over him, and everyone's like, yo, what happened? He was such a cool character, why? And just kind of the hype kind of just dies because there's tons of people who are still Arthur fans, but it's like, yo, please don't ruin his comeback with give him the graces because Mama Hawk is actually supreme deity out of nowhere and no build up for anything, something random like that happens. I really hope that doesn't happen. If they come back with a really bad way of bringing him back, personally, keep him dead in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree. Don't bring him back for like for a terrible reason, just to be OP. Like, if it's explained well, sure. But generally speaking, when you have things like prophecies and build up and stuff, you have to start it way back when. You know, you can't just bring me a prophecy and a powerhouse coming in and being like, yeah, we're gonna revive him, give him a Zenkai boost, give him a Super Saiyan mode in 10 more chapters. You can't do that.
I mean,
That's bad.
we know high level magic can revive people. The instance of the two curses placed on Elizabeth and Meliodas, that's super high level magic, and it can be done. So to have the Mother of Chaos be predicting or be saying that the king is going to return when he died in such a manner of having an imbued sword take him in, there's plenty of things that Nakaba could do that we just don't foresee or that he could put in that could make sense or pass. He just hasn't used it before. Now, in my personal belief, I would love it if it was some shit where like how Maricela was bringing niggas back and shit like that, the emotion shit. It's something like that, and then there's some other power that comes into play or something that's been foreshadowed before, like you guys pointed out. But I'm not gonna go crazy or start judging if he says that like it's a new spell or whatever. Like, fine, sure. It just has to be the appropriate instances. You know how we do with the power scaling thing. Like if you're gonna bring somebody back, happen to be where you got to give up a soul too or some shit like that, or like you got to use all your magic and then they die or some huge instance. But let's see how it comes out, bro. Because also too, if y'all remember, Hawk died, dog. Hawk died against Hedrickson. That nigga died, yeah. So niggas could be coming back unexplained. That happened before.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, but here's the thing, right? At that time when Hawk died, everyone was like, "Oh, damn, he really died." And like right after the battle, he comes back to life. And like to me personally, because he's kind of like a joke character or like like just kind of like one of like the like comedic relief. I was like, whatever, but that's kind of an ass pull. Once they explain where he's from and his biology, that's when like I can't. Yeah. Like at that point, I'm like, okay, fine. I can't say anything because they already pulled it up. Like here, all right, he's from Purgatory. That's the reason why Demon King didn't want like another host to basically be like a piece of shit that would just die on you. That die on Meliodas, depending on whatever he went through, because Meliodas is living for like 3,000 years. All right, fine, I buy that. There's only so few things you can really go on with like how he could be brought back with like what Nanashi says, like, oh yeah, if you have Keith with you, you're not gonna die. You also have like Maricela saying that like someone's magical power will go away when they die, but he never awakened his, so you never know, he might like have his power awaken when he wakes up again. It's all speculation at this point. Personally, I'm hyped, but I just really hope it's done well. I'm really like scared at this point, like super scared actually.
Anybody else notice that right below that panel of Mama Hawk's eye, Hawk's running around and making himself look like fucking the curse? Anybody else notice that? I was like,
I did not notice that.
I thought it was weird. I thought it was just like him kind of just like messing around and shit. Because again, like he's a joke character. That's all he does is mess around. But it's like it felt oddly weird, only because it's like Elizabeth's curse came back not even like a couple chapters ago. So I just didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to say like some kind of crazy person.
Yeah. I just noticed it. Don't think it has any relevance, but
okay, Kishin crack theory time.
Okay, let's go.
A more believable power boost for our boy Arthur. Okay, the sword has been embedded in him for how many chapters? Well over 30, 40 chapters now?
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
Well, what if because of that close connection and him, being dead, remember how the sword, absorbs the abilities and everything of the previous user? What if he somehow gets spiritual training directly from previous users?
I'd buy it. I mean, we're already dealing with some soul shit right now.
I mean, there is the land of the dead and everything, or the capital of the dead, so...
I don't mind that as a better explanation than, oh, he's just back and he's more powerful. I'm okay with that, Keisha. My problem with that is that remember that the fucking, all those sword spirits, all the greatest that humankind, outside of Escanor, fight me, has to offer...
he wasn't a swordsman. He used an axe.
Yeah. He but outside of all them, like outside of Escanor, they remember that they all trembled when they were confronted with powers like Chandler and Cusack. They were trembling. So even if he gets training from, that's like getting training from a.
God damn.
Yeah, god damn.
Somebody's dog don't like Arthur.
I thought Grim was making that noise. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I was
He's like, he
Grim went
ripped.
straight dog for a minute. Like, why?
Yeah. Anyways, Kishan, just to say, like, I'm okay with that being a better explanation, but the problem is, as I said, is that we've already seen that the greatest heroes inside of Excalibur were scared of Chandler and Cusack as separate. So,
Yes, but Arthur himself was not. Proving
Yeah,
that
but
he had the mental will to resist that.
he had the mental will, but
For like
as
a short time. I mean,
for a
like, let's
short-
be honest.
yeah.
I mean, let's be honest now. It wasn't just it wasn't just Chandler and Cusack. It was Chandler, Cusack, and like some weird demon aura stuff. And then it was like Meliodas and
Their true
Meliodas, and it
forms.
was Zeldaris. Yeah, in their true forms, rather the Demon King's future forms. Because let's be honest now, that's basically what it
Weren't
is.
even their true forms.
And then
wondering
from
if
there,
that's their Endura forms.
Yeah,
Maybe.
like they were showcasing their presence, and it was scaring the shit out of the human souls inside of it. All I'm saying is, it's basically like getting training from I don't know if you guys ever read about Rurouni Kenshin. It's like getting training from Kenshin, and then you fight against Hiko Seijiro. It's like, sorry, doesn't matter how good you are at Hiten Mitsurugi style, Hiko's the man. He was written out of the story because he was too OP. Like you're just not
really?
like that. That's my problem. That's my
What's
problem.
your
with
What's
that.
your name? Shinta. Too soft for a swordsman. Here's like, what?
Yeah.
That shit
Sorry.
raw. Oh,
Your-
don't play with me.
Your
Oh,
name
man.
is Kenshin, motherfucker, and I'm
said-
gonna make you.
He
awesome.
said that name not raw enough. Your name is
Crazy.
Kenton. I'm like, oh
Just
my
changes that. Takes a 6-year-old from a
God.
graveyard.
Yitsu
just,
and
I'm
Ryugi,
changing-
whatever it was called. That shit was a gangster. Yeah, I fuck with it. I mean, I like Kenton a lot, so I got you.
Hiko Seijiro could even teach the fucking Wano Samurai a thing or two, man. He's a beast.
That Godspeed whatever technique with the 9 thing. Ooh, what even
Oh
start?
fuck! He even says, he goes, "That's I'm the best at this technique," and and the only reason, like, people always say, like, how is he such a great swordsman? I'm like, dude, like, the reason it failed against like other opponents is because it's Kenshin the one using it. We never see him fail using it.
Swear to God. It's pretty much how OP characters are. It's like, listen, if I train you, know that the technique's gonna fail if you use them, not me. I'm the best. I'm always.
No, but they give a good explanation for that, because they even say that the style he's using, because he's not looking like Dwayne the Rock.
Fuck again, dog. Shut the fuck up, nigga.
Jesus.
This is the Angry Dog podcast now.
Yeah, Angry Dog podcast.
This
Yeah,
is the
but
Dog
just
Nigga podcast.
to explain that away, Joshua, the only reason that I give Kenshin credit for that is because he even says, he goes, "You lack size and weight compared to me, so your style will never be as strong as my style because you haven't trained your body the way it's supposed to." Remember, he left his training at 14.
He left early, yeah, because he wanted to go help, and then he got manipulated by everybody. He just became a killing machine.
And he didn't keep up. He kept up with his sword training, but I'm assuming that part of the Hiten Mitsurugi was to train your body as well. And he skipped that part. So now he's a scrawny motherfucker with a crazy style. And later on in the story, they even say that's killing you. Like, you can't keep up this superhuman.
And also, he doesn't have the physique for it either, because his master was a big dude.
Yeah, his master makes Dwayne the Rock's muscles look small. Like, he's a big
Dwayne
motherfucker.
the Rock muscles.
Dwayne the Rock muscles.
Dwayne the Rock.
Dwayne
Yeah,
the
fair
Rock
enough.
muscle. That's clean. I like that.
Yeah, Dwayne the Rock muscles.
Honestly,
what we
I'm gonna
got.
have to pick up Kenshin again. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, because it was really, because they explain everything really well. Like, they agree that these are superhuman sword arts, but they say, like, some of them are Dutch. Like, you can't just keep doing shit like that when you don't have the body for it. You don't see him working out and doing push-ups and sit-ups, So he's just doing laundry every fucking day, man. And that ain't gonna keep you as a stellar swordsman, right?
Oh, one more thing about this, like, just quick, like 1-2 page thing on,
No, fuck that, nigga. We've been on it long enough, bro. Keep pushing, dog.
Oh no.
Real quick. But notice that this is the chapter where like we're finally given confirmation that at least like in the manga that Mama Hawk actually is sentient and can actually is at least like the mother of chaos. We only got that in the movie. We never really got any confirmation of that in the manga. So this is pretty much the first chapter. I'm pretty sure where we've actually gotten something from her mindset at least.
I mean,
Just want to point that out.
It's still that I see what you're saying. I understand it clearly as that, but like technically, we should be looking at this as like this is a purgatory beast versus a an Indra, not necessarily the mother of chaos. They haven't said that yet. We know she is. We know that's why they're calling her quote unquote maybe. But it's really just because she's from purgatory and she's strong as fuck.
Fair enough.
But all right. The next part we're gonna hop onto is this Zeldris Meliodas confrontation. What's on your mind?
Nah, you can go first.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. I heard something.
Zeldris versus Meliodas. How did you see that confrontation back in the day? How you felt about it?
Oh, that was okay. So that was like one of the things I brought up earlier, getting a little more about the past. How he's like, come with me and bring Gelda with you. And you talk about Zeldris was kind of like a professional. You know, he's an executioner. He kind of did his job properly. But the thing that I was like, why didn't you just go? Like, I didn't really get it. And then when they explained the thing about, I can't remember exactly what they said about Gelda being a denizen of the darkness, some shit like that. So she can't just be out there. I'm guessing like also the sun would probably kill her. So it wasn't that easy for him, and that's why he harbored so much hatred and resentment for him. Like, the more we delve into like their dynamic, the more I start to understand the sibling rivalry. Even though there's clearly some type of love there, you can understand why it went so array or so sideways, because it just wasn't that easy. And he kind of left them on their own, and now he had to do all the things that Meliodas was doing, and he just isn't like, as much as I love Zeldris and he's the GOAT, he obviously it just isn't as talented or as strong as Meliodas. He's just not.
That
So
when you say that, like, and I'm thinking back to like Omnis Nebula and everything. Like from the minute he dropped down and cut Meliodas' arm off, like right after he swung, I'm like, not your ass. Like, you're not wrong, but like at the same time, I was like, yo, it's like how's this kid not talented? Like,
I didn't say he's not talented. So he's not as talented.
And see, that's the thing, is that it's like we've seen Zeldris' feats pretty much before we ever really see Meliodas do anything, save for like goes like assault mode. But it's like, yo, he's not talented. Like the fact that his dad ever thought that to me was all like, wow, like you really.
It's like
really,
this is my problem with like
that's disrespect. Sorry, that's disrespectful. Let me cut you off real quick, because Zeldris is obviously extremely capable. He's just not overall as strong as Meliodas. I actually wouldn't say that Meliodas is even mentally or emotionally stronger than me. I would put them even in that front. You can make the case for both, I'd say. It's just that in terms of just literal physical strength and whatnot, Meliodas is just stronger than him. But Meliodas even said that, like, I haven't had a fight this good since my little brother when he was fighting Escanor. So it's like, obviously he's very capable. And for somebody whose power level is like pretty low amongst like some of the things we've seen, he does the craziest shit. So put respect.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Hold on. I need everybody, like especially viewers and readers, to the niggas that you talk to, whatever, to remember this, because this happens in every single fan base I've been to. People continue to have this problem. You cannot forget about what happens in the beginning of the story, in the middle of the story, because you're at the end. The final villains, or the villains that you face current day, aren't necessarily stronger or better than the villains you faced back then. The people or the heroes that you see in the beginning of the story aren't necessarily weaker or insignificant or not important compared to they are now. Meliodas fought 10 commandments. Nobody's doing that. You're not doing that. Meliodas destroyed an entire city by getting angry. He's been alive for 3,000 years. He alone went through half of purgatory by himself, enraged. Like, this is not somebody we should be underestimating for any extent, for any reason. Like, I understand that we're getting other strong niggas, that people are great. Meliodas is a literal god in almost any and every sense possible. Like, he's there. When they say that this nigga's like the perfect being for the DK, that's there for a reason, bro. He's been hyped the entire time for that. When you compare him to Zeldris, it's like the whole shit in One Punch Man. Don't compare niggas to him. Obviously, it's not to the same degree. Meliodas is nowhere near Saitama. I'm just saying that, like, in this story, Meliodas has a lot of importance. A lot of importance.
Dude, don't be comparing the Saitama thing, because Meliodas has shown flaws and he has lost bouts. Whether you can make the argument because he didn't have all his power, he didn't do this or didn't do that, but he's a much more developed character for that reason. That makes him more interesting, because he's, even at height, even at evil, he has fought difficult battles and he's won some.
That wasn't my point. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that don't underestimate Meliodas for any reason. Like, he is the epitome of this series, and he's proven that time and time again in every part of the story. There is nobody better than Meliodas.
Fair enough. I will say, though, real quick, for this interaction with Meliodas and Zeldris, real quick, that off to the side, you do see the two demons that Meliodas ends up killing before he leaves
Yeah.
Demon Realm.
Yep.
So obviously these guys were kind of out of pocket, focusing on stuff that they
Xenox
weren't
and
supposed to be
Arnix
focusing
or
on.
whatever their name was.
I don't even remember their
Something
I
like that.
don't even
They're
know
fodder
was
at this
who.
point.
Yeah,
I
it was a
looked
Z
up-
and an A. I remember that. It was like Arnarth
Oh.
and Xenoth or something like that. He's the two that he killed on the way out. I'm assuming they were spying on him. But Grim was bringing up about an emotional moment with like the Geldas Eldritch thing. This, to me, was the emotional epitome of the chapter. This whole interaction between them, because before this point, we didn't know this information. Meliodas tried. He actually did give a shit about. This is our first time, as far as I'm aware, seeing demon leader of the commandments Meliodas give a shit about his brother. We were told it, we never saw it. Now we've actually fully seen it, like more than just one little word or one little line. We're seeing a full scene with them and him actually saying, like, I'm not leaving you behind, man, you're my brother, like, you should come with me. I'm leaving, but I don't think you should stay either. I think we should say fuck this holy war and get the hell out of here, and they're like, and I mean, for a lot of reasons, they'll just rejected him, and I agree with Meliodas' assumption after the flashback of why, but that was way more emotional to me than anything else in this chapter. This scene between two brothers, like, that love each other, and they have to be on opposite sides. It's heart-wrenching.
Thank you, bruh, for
You know what?
for reading it how you
gonna-
supposed to. We're about emotions, dog. Come on, man.
You know what? Real quick. I'm gonna have to apologize to the fan base. I remember back in the day when I was talking shit on Zeldris. I remember saying, at least at this point in time, I was like, oh, why don't you just go ahead and join with Meliodas? Why are you being a bitch? Why are you complaining? This chapter pretty much slaps me in the face with that. So I will take this L. I didn't know that it was that deep. Also, I also want to bring up that in the encounter with Zeldris and Escanor when they were fighting with Omnis versus the One, I remember at that point, Zeldris was pretty much asking Escanor, "Why are you coming up into this business?"
He didn't lose.
Oh god.
Fair enough. But
interrupted. We'll agree with interrupted, man.
fair enough. Yes, exactly. Interrupted. Just yes,
Interrupted,
exactly.
Undecided.
An asterisk on the championship.
my bad. Sorry, keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. But no, but real quick, I like how this chapter at least it kind of further plays on the idea that Zeldris sees his brother in a different light compared to everyone else. Only because, at least when he asked Escanor, why are you fighting for, this war if, you're only going to live for, say, maybe, 70 years, this thing's been going on for, 3,000 years, what's your stake in it? It's like, oh, it's for my friends. Once he gets to, that point, and he's like, oh, don't talk about my brother like that, you don't know anything about him, at least this chapter kind of does, I guess, open, a bigger view on that, because at this point, it, to me, it's what I needed. When you said that back in the day, it's like, okay, fine, fair enough. But now, at least to me, it's more verified. That one line, it's don't talk about that. He's not the kind of person who has those kinds of feelings. He's to me, that kind of says that he's still salty about what happened in the past. But at the same time, it's yo, you don't know anything about my brother, at all. Y'all don't know nothing. Every last one of you, the goddess bitch, the witch bitch, all you bitches don't know anything about my brother at all. So I will give Zeldris this chapter, that emotional scene was his moment to shine, for me at least.
He makes more and more sense the more we learn about him. Literally any and all actions he makes are in line with what he believes and what he wants. And some of them are hidden desires. It's just he's the GOAT, man. Fuck.
He's so good, especially I feel like
his dick big. That's just crazy.
Get out of here with
his the explanation actually I feel like added to the scene. Isn't it crazy how like the flashback scene was really good, but it's the next page with Meliodas talking about what happened.
Because I want to talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. Now you go ahead first.
No. I was just gonna say because I feel like I'm not entirely sure what he meant exactly, that she has to be she's a dance in the darkness, so she has to be in the underworld. But part of me feels like the way Zeldris went about things, because of the pact they had, was in service of keeping her safe from the Demon King's wrath. I'm not entirely sure if I'm right about that, but
she's a vampire. That's what
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but she's also still in the underworld. Like, she like when he said let's leave and let's go to the surface, he made it seem like for whatever reason Gelda could not do that. Like she wasn't.
I can. From what I understand, it said that a Gelda, a dweller of the darkness, a vampire. If I was considering his beloved's needs, clearly she would have to remain within the underworld. I'm such an idiot. What I took away from this is think about it. Think about it clearly. What happened when the vampires were released in Edinburgh?
They made their own realm. They made their own space.
Leonis went after them. The knights, they sent the seven sins after them. Basically, on the surface world, a vampire will always be feared and attacked. And basically, Zeldris would have to live a life of keeping Gelda safe. It's not.
Like
It's
he
not.
wouldn't have done that anyway.
No, but like it would have been a life on the run. It would not have been a life of he would have had to constantly be at odds, aware, always fighting, like against other people who were trying to slay the vampire.
You don't remember
like,
a few
that's
chapters
the way I
ago
took from it.
when she was traveling in like this whole black ball? That was because of the sunlight thing. And then if you remember in Edinburgh too, like the area around them was like all darkness and shit like that too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, envelope of darkness.
Yeah, but I'm not saying she would burn in the sun. I mean, that's a problem. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that like the moment the vampires woke up, the kingdom that they resided in sent people to go kill them. And how many years was Zeldris and Gelda going to do that until maybe one day they were caught unawares? Like basically on the surface world, a vampire is always going to be feared and attacked. It's
because they took over the kingdom. Though that wasn't like Edinburgh was a kingdom and they took over it. That's what because I get what you're saying. Like, I just don't know if that's the evidence for that. Like, there's no reason why that quote wouldn't also mean that as well. I think it probably
Meliodas would clearly know that she can do these, like, because it was daytime, right? When they went down in the hole, Gelda was there. Gelda flew out. She didn't burn.
Now, wasn't there a dimensional distortion or something, or like wasn't it nighttime when they went to Edinburgh?
Did like a
yes.
or something.
Right.
So no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in Edinburgh, when in the backstory, when we went to Edinburgh, there was a dimensional distortion, or it was nighttime in Edinburgh.
The Vampire King did that whole.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That they when they came back, like Zeke was saying, that they took over a kingdom that didn't belong to them, and just like Leonis is taking care of or being aware of like Danafor whenever it went away, and has had relations with different countries, including Camelot, that they would also have relations with Edinburgh, another superpower at the time period, or sufficient power at the time period, and then he sent them there. Now, like I said, I agree that there's probably like descent for dark beings. Isn't there some shit about like creatures of the night or some shit like that they called it?
Yeah. It's just something that I like because I took it away is that we've seen that she can survive in the sun by casting this darkness and stuff, and we see the vampires able to do it, right? So that's not the reason. The reason I took it away was he said, considering his beloved's needs, clearly she would have to remain in the underworld. That says to me that maybe she didn't want to, like we saw when they first met, like I don't want to be a vampire, kill me, sort of idea. And I'm like, okay, but maybe she doesn't want to prey. Like they don't want to live a life where she has to prey on a bunch of humans, prey on innocents. In the underworld, she's preying on demons. She probably like last time I checked, vampires needed blood. They don't give a shit. But here, they can't live a peaceful life while she's a vampire, and he's going to have to protect a feared monster by the humans, giants, and fairies who don't understand just because she's a creature of darkness. Remember, this is something you've been bringing up a lot, Grim, when we talk about demons and goddesses. The goddesses look even more evil, but all the other races see the goddesses as light because their power is light. They're arc, they're beautiful, they're pretty, even though they're more maniacal than the fucking demons. The demons just by like it's borderline like stereotypes, racism, that kind of shit against the demons as a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't understand. So I'm assuming that that's what is being referred to here, is that it's easy for Meliodas to hide his demon nature and for Elizabeth to look good. It's be way more difficult for Gelda in the physical world. That's
not as much as you would think. Like if she uses the aura when she needs it to protect herself, otherwise they could just live in a fairly secluded area. She just
I mean,
with animals, or
true.
If they take over a kingdom and like say it's like, okay, you're our new rulers, whatever. They do like a blood drive where they actually yes. It's like, okay, only half of the monthly blood drive actually goes to Gelda. The other half goes to the hospitals and
Really,
stuff.
bro,
So it's like
I want to argue
people
anymore.
rise up against me.
But remember, Keishan. Remember that, like, yeah, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. The end of the day, that wasn't the only thing. He says it as Gelda's beloved, as a substitute for the leader of the commandments, and as the Demon King's son. He felt such weight and responsibility in 3 different aspects that it just seemed like an impossibility. So maybe if it was just about Gelda, maybe as we've been talking about, they could have made it work on the physical world and lived in peace, a secluded area in the mountains, something like that. But with all the other responsibilities going on, and remember, Zeldris being the loyal son, being loyal and honesty, 2 very big things with Zeldris, it just wasn't going to happen. You know, look at how much he acted about Meliodas' betrayal. Look how much he hates him for it. He didn't want to become his brother at that point. So,
I mean, and just real quick, but remember, like, this is like this is Britannia, so like human supremacy is kind of a thing. I mean, look at the Beastmen, look at the Giants, like they're all treated like shit no matter what. Even the fairies, bro. Like every single race, like humans just don't like anyone that doesn't look like them. Like, think about it, Melios hasn't like revealed his demon heritage for the longest time. So
She doesn't even look like a traditional vampire. Like
she got fangs.
What
right?
you mean?
Fangs.
What do you, my nigga? You can't even say that, bro. We've seen so many different iterations of vampires, dog. We've seen glitterish ones. We've seen like fucking monstrous ones. The ones in JoJo and shit, all buff niggas and like we've seen way too many different kinds of vampires to say that.
Zalardo!
Yeah.
Tokyo Tomare!
All right, but so in my reaction, I spent like 4 minutes just busting nuts and cleaning up skeet from this lake picture, dog. This lake widespread is like,
Oh,
That's
yo, that
disgusting.
shit was dummy clean, bro. Like the way they zoomed out, it's kind of like the dad and the brothers. I'm like, yo, this is going a little too hard for just a scenic picture. Like that's a clean double screen.
hell yeah,
10 out of
bro.
that is
Clearly-
I only wish I could have put it in a thumbnail to make it look nice, because it's just too big and beautiful to
Yeah.
cut.
I'm
anything
making
out of it.
I'm making that my Twitter header actually. Let me do that right now.
Hell yeah,
Honestly,
dog.
I'm
That
not-
shit's amazing.
Yo, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, clearly this shows Nakaba still got it. I mean, like, early Taizai had like some really, really, really good artwork with the black and the white and the gray. But like, yo, this double spray.
But that's one of those things where it's like I tell people a storytelling medium of art and literature. That one picture, no dialogue, just tells me so much without anyone
Yes.
having to say anything.
Yes.
The text
Yep.
and the place, the spacing, the sides, who stands for what, all of that. Like
Yes.
it's just
Pretty much.
it speaks 1,000 words, and
Yes.
there's not a single piece of dialogue in that picture.
100%. Yeah, well put.
It's beautiful. It really is. It's just a wonderful fucking image.
Perspective too.
real
Look at them
quick-
big ass rocks in the back, dog. Them trees big as hell, and them rocks even bigger, dog. The other one in the corner big as hell too, dog. The mountain big, bro. This is like when I saw it. Not only did I think it was beautiful, I'm like, this is a whole bunch of feats that we about to see, bro. We about to see niggas cut these mountains in half, niggas lift these rocks and shit. These things are standing on water, by the way. So apparently these niggas can stand on water and shit. Like,
I mean, it's a magical lake. Don't.
bro, fuck out of here,
Weird how
bro.
those crystal
Oh, I'm
formations-
sorry. Is it not a magical lake?
So they're standing on water. You're gonna attribute to the lake? Fuck out of here, dog.
Bro,
It
it's literally a
it
magical
literally is. It literally is apparently the most powerful magical place in all of Britannia, Grim. You can't deny that. So
That's
But nigga, that doesn't mean they can float on water, bro. Where are the fishes at? Ain't no fishes there? Where are they floating?
Stop.
Yo,
with
yo,
Pete's fuss.
yo! This is where the Bible got it. No. When Jesus walked across the lake, this is the lake he walked on. It had nothing to do with him.
Yo, get out of here.
None of that, bro.
You really said that.
Hey,
that was only
I ain't
2,000
religious. I don't
years
give
ago.
a
There's
fuck.
1,000 years prior, so it's like that doesn't quite add up.
All right. Quick thing, real fast though. Elizabeth's titties or Gelda titties in this chapter? What's up?
Gelda titties. I'm sorry.
Gelda.
Yeah, like.
Them shits.
I mean,
I think we need to know
sure.
more about the vampire clan. By the way, I think we need a bit more on it.
And the Beastmen. We need more information on
fuck
the
them niggas.
plans that. No, I'm just saying.
Excuse me?
One of the things that Nakaba that some people complain about, like One Piece and stuff, is they go a little too deep. But Nakaba, I understand he's telling a more concrete, like one line story sort of idea. But at the same time, wasting all those like Q&As every chapter on stupid fan questions. Those are the
Fucking
spaces
panties, bro.
and the cover pages. Like Nakaba gives us, Oda gives us tons of information with cover pages and fucking answering.
Bro, the last 30 cover pages have been niggas drawing like fucking stupidity, bro. Like, oh, penguins floating in the.
He doesn't literally
hold on.
always do it. He's just saying there's times where literally the cover page itself is integrated into the actual narrative, even though it's not like, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, I get it, but that's the only narrative I've seen that for.
Hold on. These are, Oda was just doing. Those are all. If you check the thing, those are fan requests that he said were piling up. He's going to start another cover serial soon. But that's my point: is that you don't need to do it all the time. But the fact of the matter is like we do not need to see Hawk and Escanor running on the cover page. We could have gotten something. They could just follow or give us some information and answering whether Elaine's wearing panties or not. First off, I'm not into fucking children, so I don't give a fuck. And
She's over 700 years old.
I'll say this: in the JoJo anime and in the Attack on Titan anime, they do a really good job of like in between the little cuts. You know, where a bunch of anime they put like some where they're cutting into a different portion of the story. Attack on Titan like puts up the gear or information about the current episode all the time, and JoJo puts up information about the stand users. I love that. That's efficient.
Even Skyrim loading screens give you information that is nothing to do with the game or the main storyline. That's all we need, man. We just need a little more. Like, that's all he's got to do, and I'd be happier. Just explaining things that aren't going to... If the Beastmen are never relevant again, that's fine. But bringing them into the series and just say, yeah, there's Beastmen. They aren't relevant. Like, don't bring them in then. Like, it just doesn't, you know.
Idea for a spin-off series. Sinful Creatures.
I mean, the other thing, like, I
like that.
I gotta give credit to Naya again, because Naya be dropping some points sometimes. He mentioned previously that having too much useless information can become a problem. It can open too many storylines, or it can just take attention away from like what's actually important and shit. So, granted, we're talking about little questions on the side and cover pages. They don't necessarily have to change the story, but they open up a lot of doors for a bunch of shit. If he starts introducing new series or new races, or like gives us particular information, right? Like for example, when we learned about that all fairies are born from plants, right? Huge ass speculation now. Like, does that mean that any plant that I see outside the fairy forest could have a fucking fairy? Like, if I take a plant inside the fairy forest and put it outside, is that going to grow another fairy outside? Is that how you get different fairy forests around the world? Type shit like that. It raises those types of questions that are indeed plausible. So it's like.
But even to go on your point, Grim, even if you didn't want to open up too many doors with other races, like the vampires or the beastmen, why can't Nakaba answer those questions about very relevant races in, once again, questions and cover pages?
Could you guys just run that back real quick? Because my internet just bugged out bad.
Pretty much.
Were you saying if we ran our train on Zelda, if Elizabeth would like have a tighter pussy than if we ran a train on her?
I know
pretty cool.
I know
like,
below. I know we were talking about that, but I'm still gonna answer it.
Okay, now what's your stake in it? Now we got something.
I gotta think about this because that heavily angelic box might hit, but I'm about that darkness and despair. These vampires, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to go with the vampire.
Yo, I'll give it to Gelda for that head, bro. She probably get that mean head.
Dude,
I don't want to get bit. That's the only thing, you know. I don't want to get bit.
Yo, turn me into a vampire too. We out here.
Sorry.
Bite my dick, baby.
Unfortunately,
you guys think I need sunlight? Fuck the sun. Catch me in the nighttime.
Dude, I'm not into necrophilia, so I got to go with Elizabeth. But
crazy, he said that crazy. He's out of pocket. He's out of pocket. I was like,
and we glisten in the sun, baby.
It would be like 50 first.
Oh, y'all heard that nigga about to be Batman, right?
Yeah.
Stop.
Hey, I'm low key. I'm not mad about it, bro. Like, I ain't like those movies, but like, I gotta give him a chance to see. You know, he might be a straight actor.
Well, I didn't like. I'm not interested, but I didn't know he was in a bunch of other movies. So apparently he's not a bad actor. But Twilight was not it. So that's all I know.
Crazy.
I can admit, and I will admit it on a live podcast, I have actually read all 4 Twilight books.
I read the first one.
Why would you hurt yourself?
That nigga's gay. I watched the movies.
You know what? I tell you why. The movies are trash, absolute trash. But the books told an okay story, not a great story. But if you're into a little bit of romance once in a while, a little bit of supernatural, they do a lot. Everything that you would want to complain about the movie, the fucking books write well, even if it's not something great, it's still written much better than shown on screen. So I got to give credit. It's same with like 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. I bought that when the hype was up. I just wanted to see what I know. I seriously did. I bought it to see.
This nigga a freak. Oh, he's doing research, huh? He's doing research.
Grievers like me, but we have one fundamental difference. If that first book not hitting, I'm not reading the rest. I read the first Twilight. This shit suck. I'm not reading the rest of these books. Fuck the rest of these books. I read the first 50 Shades of Grey too.
Yo, to be fair, I don't actually own any of the Twilight books. The reason I was able to read them is because my friend's sister had them, and she kept harping about them. I also tried to read the Hunger Games. You and I are the same way.
Come on, that's worse, bro. You went and borrowed it. You put a financial agreement out.
No, first, I did not buy Twilight, and I did not buy Hunger Games, but I read my friend's sister's fucking copies, and the thing is that the Hunger Games, the first chapter, I said, fuck this book. I didn't even finish the book because it was terrible, and I don't understand why they're making movies out of the worst fucking thing I've ever heard.
That's so funny to me because I think out of the trilogy that I read for Hunger Games, that's the only one I could tolerate. The first one.
Jeez.
I don't think any of them are good, but they actually were like really easy to read. But so they
were easy to read, but they weren't good.
Yeah. But I thought the first one was the best one, personally speaking. But that's funny.
Probably I will agree with you without knowing. I will honestly say probably so. Usually the first book is always the best. So, usually in book forms, usually, like
I can't knock that. But at the end of the day, like adaptation compared to like source material, I mean, depending on the situation, you'll either get like it's hit or miss. Like taizai source material, best. Anime, let's not. So I can't agree.
Well, that's a perfect.
Twilight really wasn't my thing. Hunger Games. I heard that the girl was a bit more scrawny than she was, like actually, like kind of thick. Well, not really thick, kind of like I guess like bigger.
Bro, let's get back to this vampire dick sucking, dog. What's going on, bro? How we got so far away, bro?
Shit. Oh, actually, hold on.
I would like to
real
keep
quick.
my dick. Thank you very much.
all right. Go ahead.
I was going to say that Joshua did bring a good point, is that sometimes, for example, in the same way that movies and books don't translate well, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Same way, manga, anime. There's some animes I just don't watch, but the manga I fucking love. So, source material is usually always going to be better. So even if you think Twilight's trash, Hunger Games is trash, Lord of the Rings is trash, whatever, take your pick of something based off a book. Usually the book did it better, and you should always give the source material a chance. Just saying.
Happy birthday to Hirohiko Araki. I didn't know he was 59 today. That's the
Oh
GOAT.
shit.
That's Mount Rushmore mangaka territory. But yeah.
Oh wow.
Pretty much.
Taizai GOAT. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nah, real quick, I just wanted to jump in on the last thing we were talking about before we actually fucking went off on the tangent. There were like a couple cover pages where you had like I believe Meliodas and Zardoz versus like some goblins, and it's like, bro, I remember one of them was like using like some kind of magic. Just really quickly, we can dive in just a little bit into the other races. I'm not sure if it's because Nakba really just wants to focus on this one storyline and just kind of get it done and over with. But he's done a great job on side stories. I mean, I don't think anyone else here can can disagree for the most part.
The only person comparable to him in side stories is Murata Sensei that I've read. And all the mangas I've read, the only person who does that as well is Murata. Nakaba's a god with side stories.
Pretty much. And the thing is like I've always said that listen, if you want to go ahead and go on with like this one simple storyline, and even before when I thought that this was gonna end like weeks ago, I always says like listen, if you really want to like not piss off your fan base, do something quick and like get out like I don't know, one or two quick side story chapters, like but maybe like a couple pages each. I remember fucking who was it? Jericho. Jericho had like 5 pages of like her like not even like 5 pages of like her complaining about like how her brother died, and then boom, got her magical power. Like quick and simple,
fucking lame,
painless. But it's like that was a good like side story because she was still like somewhat of a character that you could still remember. So
Team Jericho.
Yeah, hey.
Team Jericho, because she pointed it out best. She goes, "I got tits, you don't. I got tits, you don't."
I forgot about that.
I'm with them.
I'm telling you, out of all the boxes we were talking about, the fairy one gotta just hit. It's the only explanation.
It is. It's the only explanation. Dude, I love Bond. I love Bond, but I get
stature.
creeped out.
I don't know what it is, but
That's stature. He said
Dude,
stature. Like,
blue
get out of
flower
here.
Nah. See, I get that. That's my problem with Bond is that I get grossed out with that shit, man. I really do. I can't roll with that. I don't
like
care
a
that
nice young
I don't
petite
care
lady
that
now,
she's
though.
5,000 years old. I don't
Bruh,
give a
she
shit.
live outside. She be flying around and shit. It's a forest. That shit dirty as hell. Dog. That shit must stink. Bro, I ain't with that.
Dude,
Man,
if you have a vampire, if you change a 9-year-old into a vampire, she's still fucking 500 years from now. I don't give a shit. And the same thing goes for Fairy. They even stated she's not matured, just like King wasn't matured, and King did mature, Elaine did mature, but the fact that he's tapping it before she did that, I'm still creeped.
No, nigga, no. He didn't. They told us in that chapter. That was the first time they fucked.
She was, but she wasn't in adult form. She's in the fucking lolly form.
Oh, and that shit tight in that form.
The fucking Japanese.
Don't call the FBI. Don't call the FBI.
Hey man, listen. Listen, man. Different culture, different things. All right, like I won't judge them.
I will.
Is what it is. All right. Different strokes for different folks. All right. Don't kink shame.
I'm saying when I went to DR, bro,
I will shame.
half the niggas there was fucking early as hell, bro. Like I think the adult age over there is like 16 or I think it's 16, but like still though, bro, you had niggas getting married, having 3-4 kids, like. Niggas my age, niggas that's like 20 and shit, having 3 or 4 kids, talking about some, bro, where your kids at? Like, bitch, relax. Nah, dog. It's the culture, bro. Them fairies be about that early pussy. It's really old, but they be about that early pussy. And Bond just came into the culture, dog. He's doing his thing.
You just said fairies are born from plants, man. So there's no need for it. Just saying,
Hey man, you know what that means? She's like flowers, all right?
Oh,
Oh, what? So I'll go back and fuck my rose bush.
Don't do that. No, don't do that. No one told you to do that. Don't fuck your rose bush. For any kids watching, don't fuck your rose bush.
Hey, yo, it's still June. They ain't bloomed yet.
All right. Before we pop out, we got to talk about this. So the conversation is set. DK Zeldris versus Elizabeth and Meliodas. The last time we had a conversation like this was like 3,000 plus years ago with the deity present. So, what's his stance predictions for the battle? What's gonna happen? Who's gonna do what? What do y'all think in next chapter? What's up?
I think next chapter they're gonna jump to the Endura whatever stuff.
Yeah, pump fake.
Yes.
I don't think he's gonna completely hop right into this. But if you're asking me specific what things gonna happen in that fight, I don't know. I feel like Meliodas should be strong enough to fight him. I guess so. We'll see what happens. But I'm really here for this this lovers duo, dynamic duo, light and darkness combo against the Demon King. I'm here for this, but they're gonna have to. But while they're doing it, I think they're gonna hold back to some degree, because of Zeldris's body, because they're still trying to save him.
Damn, that's right.
See if they can find a way to expel the Demon King from his body.
I mean, they ain't hold back with Meliodas. Bond slammed that nigga, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing I was about to say.
They had Elizabeth heal his wounds. He'd like that. It's like, private angelic massages. Yes, heal my wounds, baby.
Goddamn. Keishan got real romantic for a minute.
Yeah.
Got the Benru talk ready and everything.
What about y'all predictions on
it? Keishan's up there with level 99 restoration magic.
Real quick for predictions. If we don't get pump faked by this. Oh, hold on. One sec.
This nigga.
If we don't get all right. If we don't get pump faked on it, then I would say if anything, the first one to throw the punch would probably be the Demon King, only because I don't think Meliodas would want to just jump into battle without make sure Elizabeth is not all set. But for the most part, I would say he should be strong enough. But if anything, Elizabeth might be used as leeway to get him to do something, because again, she's kind of just there. She's not at their level, so we don't know what could happen. Also, this guy is a Demon King. Could probably just call in tons of swarms of demons and then just kind of have them all firing down. You guys are right about trying to expel Zeldris, but going easy on him, I don't think I don't think they have.
It's not
enough
about
tricks like
going
that.
easy. It's just not with the intent to literally kill him. It's more like do harm or find a way to weaken him, find an opening mentally, emotionally, whatever the case, to get him to either fight back, take his own body, or expel the Demon King somehow, or just reach him. Whatever they can do. Some combination of both. I don't think you can go up. I don't think you can. You should go up against Demon King without the intent to kill. Like it's just dangerous, but it's hard. He doesn't want to fail. He doesn't want to fail his brother a third time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this would be
and
like
he
the
said
fourth
it.
time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what he said. He's failed him 3 times. He doesn't want to fail again.
Well, there you go.
That's the way he. So I agree with Naya and stuff and Zarsal and stuff. We're all getting a punt take here. They're gonna jump over to Indora. Though I don't know why we think that, because how long did we spend on the Mile Estarossa thing and then jump over to the Battle of Six? But we didn't exactly jump very well. But
that's true.
I'm still with that though. I'm on the fence about it, but I lean more towards like a 60-40 on the fact that we'll jump over to the Endora fight. Maybe a reaction with Hauser and everybody mobilizing at first, because that's what they always do. Just like this chapter, we have some quick couple pages of setup, and then we move on to the main event. So probably something like that. I'm agreeing with Zarsal about like how the fight will go if we do see it. If we don't, whatever. But how the fight will go is that Demon King will attack first, and I'm thinking like Elizabeth Melliers pull some shit where he's shocked and then boom, uppercut to the jaw or something like that. Like it'll be a counterattack measure, and they'll do a little scuffle. They'll jump back, like we saw that beautiful widespread panel. They'll jump back, and Demon King will say something snarky like, "Huh, you do got some strength in you," or something like that, or that kind of deal. I don't think we'll really get in the thick of the fight for a few chapters, but it's looking to shape up like a way better fight than we ever got starting at 300. So. Yeah,
I could definitely see this Demon King Meliodas fight. Like he starts like putting darkness into the water, and it just starts to spread as he's absorbing all the magic from this locale.
Damn, that has to be kind of
yeah, I can see that. Lady of the Lake is at the bottom.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, yo, this like the magical lake. Is this the same lake where this Lady of the Lake came from? That kind of like brandished off Excalibur for the first time. Also, really quickly, I remember they said when the demons came back that all the magic in the land was kind of like gone. So, are there other locations besides the spot that have magic, or is it just like the only place? I'm assuming it's the highest and probably the only most noteworthy place, seeing as how Nakba really doesn't seem like he really cares much about locations at this point. It's more or less it's more the plot. But I mean, again, they said that there was no more magic, so I don't know. He stepped on his toes. Who knows?
All right. Make sure that you guys like the stream.
Hashtag save Eldris.
You already know.
Hashtag Diane Bugzapper.
Hashtag
It's happening.
Escanor with sunshine.
Hashtag vampire titties.
Arthur. Hashtag vampire titties. Real talk.
Hashtag Elaine box hit different.
Hashtag Team Jericho. You already know.
Yeah, you go. There it is.
Make sure you guys like the stream.
That's the team I'm on. If your box is that good, stay away from me. I don't want it. Gotta be out here tripping.
Make sure y'all tune in for the next session. I'll hop into the Discord if y'all trying to talk taizai for more later on today. We're gonna be in there all night long with the shits. It was a good ass chapter.
I see what the Speedwagon Foundation, by the way. How far are you at? How far are you at?
I'm on part 4. The little small.
Hey.
I think that's what's called. Yeah. The little short nigga just beat the girl that's in love with him. He just beat her ass and shit.
Okay. So love Deluxe versus I love Deluxe.
Yeah, bro. This shit fire.
Yeah, Yukako versus Koichi. Give Koichi the belt, King Koichi, bro.
That shit raw. I'm about to get my own stage soon.
Akata 2.
All right, y'all niggas. Make sure you like, subscribe, and shit. I already said, come through or whatever. We got your boys. Whatever.